Good morning. I spent last night and this morning revisiting some thoughts on string theory because I had some reminders about patterns and experiences and my physics background that led me back to some old writing that I did on string theory. Back in the winter of 2020, when I was locked down still in Memphis before I went back home for the winter break, I ended up writing about 6 pages into my journal in almost like a feverish dreamlike state. Like I had ended up writing about, I hesitate to use the word vision, but writing about a way of thinking that honestly kind of scared me at first, because I had ended up learning about string theory at that time, just pretty recently before then, and we're starting to make some connections between different parts of it. So there are concepts of extra dimensions, their concept of strings being vibrating one-dimensional pieces of energy, to the idea of symmetry. These were all things that were sticking out to me. And it led me to another connection, which I'll get to at some other point, with, and bear with me here, because I know this can be a touchy subject in the science field, but it led me to try and connect it to an astrological birth chart. I know, it's gonna sound crazy. But the reason that I started thinking about the connection is because my parents went to India a while back and went to an astrologer, and what you do is you give your date of birth, birth time, where you were born. That's really it. And you give it to them, and they, on the Indian system, have this circle, but it's different than the Western, like, astrological, whatever, calculations. And the man apparently just, like, without even writing or doing anything, said, oh, he's artistic, isn't he? He's got some musical talent. And he might be like a leader in his school. And he said 2 things that really described me up to that point. This was a few years ago when I was in college, when I was still doing my music thing pretty actively, and was a leader in that group. And that immediateness of naming 2 traits of mine without ever having met my parents or seen or heard my name before or seen anything about my birthday was a little weird. I will admit, it was a little weird. But then he went even further and he started making other connections. My point is, the math that he ended up doing to make those connections was math. It really was. And there's something weird to me about that, leading to astrology being able to predict things. Now, I don't believe in like newspaper astrology. I don't think anything based on the stars and distant constellations means anything. But what I think I have connected is that behavior in your brain is caused by neurons firing. And neurons are electrical pulses, electricity, electrons. And electrons are particles in the physics field. There are ways in string theory to define these particles at an even more ground level. And if you think of a wave, waves go up and down, up, down, up, down. It's a pattern. These patterns repeat and they cycle. And then you think about our planets. And our planets, they cycle around the sun. You think about history. They say patterns repeat through history. In fact, my personal proverb 1-2, the second personal proverb I ever wrote, was patterns repeat through the course of human history For our thoughts reverberate eternally through time and space. So, is it possible we are fighting a war that can't be won? I'll get to that second sentence in another video, but that first half in my personal proverb, which, by the way, if you're not familiar from my first video, personal proverb is from a list of quotes that I had started writing down since high school, and if I didn't put an author next to it, then I was the one that was inspired to write it. I think this specific quote was inspired to me from a Morgan Freeman song. Not Morgan Freeman, sorry, but B.O.B. with Morgan Freeman on it. The same one that I talked about in my last video with Personal Proverb 1:1. Bombs Away has a line, something about time and space, and I think that inspired me to think about patterns and how patterns repeat through human history. And they say history repeats itself, or as I like to say, history rhymes, it doesn't repeat. And so why? Why do humans over generations do things that lead to historically rhyming scenarios? And that's where I get back to string theory, where I think I may have made a connection that looks at the math of string theory in a different context and uses that context to define gravity and to redefine the 11th dimension of symmetry. Good evening. I've gone through a whole day and went out to trivia with a few friends, and so I'm going to save the majority of this discussion on string theory for another time. But what I want to do real quick before I put this together and post it tonight is this idea that this proverb tells me, that patterns that repeat can be understood through multiple lenses, whether that's human history, astronomy, and then leading to the second sentence, behavior. Because, again, the quote goes, patterns repeat through the course of human history, for our thoughts reverberate eternally through time and space. So is it possible we are fighting a war that can't be won? There's a lot to say about this, to me, at least. Oh yeah, let's see this. Back in 8th grade, I thought I could design Iron Man's chest piece. But unfortunately, you can't use a sodium chip to run a steam generator with laser-powered atom splitters. We're going to skip over this for a bit. But this personal proverb 1:2, when I actually get the time to talk about this, there's a few things I'm going to break down. One, patterns. What patterns? Defining that term. Patterns repeat. How does a pattern repeat, and what signs are given that it's repeating? Through the course of human history, we'll look at examples from different time periods and leaders in those time periods. For our thoughts reverberate eternally. Thoughts. That connects. In my brain, that connects to transcendental meditation. It connects to consciousness. It connects to neurons firing in your brain. Thoughts reverberate. Reverberate. Like a wave reverberates. Eternally. From the beginning of time. So can we study this idea all the way through universe behavior? Which is where I get my first connection to string theory. Eternally. through time and space, through the 3 dimensions of space, X, Y, Z, and the 4th dimension of time. That's what I'll come back to when I talk about 11 dimensions. In the second sentence. So is it possible we are fighting a war that can't be won? This connects to, let's keep it specific. Let's talk about the United States. A war. What is this war? And why can it not be won? The war is between ways of thinking, between different reverberations of thoughts and consciousness. Is it possible that through human history there have been wars that have echoes of other wars, at least because of the reasonings behind them? And does that give us insight on our current state and what is to be expected from humanity? Patterns repeating eternally because of thoughts in time and space is something that in those 6 pages of my journal I tried to connect. And the 11 dimensions of string theory provided a mental framework for me to try to understand how patterns can form in thoughts. Let's leave that for another time. Thanks for watching.